Chosen ones, God warns, if you skip this moment, even His divine protection cannot shield you from what's at stake. That stirring in your chest, that pulse racing through your veins, it's not fear, it's destiny calling your name. You didn't stumble across this message by chance. Heaven hunted you down, piercing through the noise of a distracted world to deliver this urgent warning. Right now, as the clock ticks toward a divine deadline, God is sounding an alarm. This is your moment to step into your spiritual awakening, to claim the divine purpose written in the stars before you were born. Ignore this, and you risk missing the breakthrough that could redefine your faith journey and unleash a prosperous life of abundance. But heed this call, and you'll walk through a door that no force in hell can shut. Are you ready to answer, or will you let fear lock you out of the destiny God has prepared? This video unveils a unique truth. The fears you've been battling are not your enemies. They are the very keys to your greatest breakthroughs. Every moment of doubt, every sleepless night, every whisper of, "I'm not enough," has been a divine setup, not a setback. God has been forging you in the fire of adversity, not to break you, but to make you unbreakable. Picture a radiant door standing before you, your name carved in gold, glowing with the promise of divine provision. This door doesn't lead to comfort or ease. It opens to a battlefield, where you, chosen one, are called to be a warrior of faith, a beacon of hope, a vessel of overflowing blessings. But here's the warning. This door has a timer, and it's counting down. Miss this moment, and the opportunity to step into your divine purpose may vanish like a whisper in the wind. Let me ask you something that might shake you to your core. How many times have you stood at the edge of your destiny, only to let fear convince you to stay small? How many prayers have you whispered for financial freedom, for personal transformation, for a life of purpose, only to hesitate when the door appeared? You've carried burdens others couldn't see, rejections that stung, dreams that seemed to die, nights when you wondered if God had forgotten your name. But hear this truth. Every closed door was God's protection, not His punishment. Every tear you've shed has been collected in His bottle. Every struggle a brushstroke in the masterpiece of your faith journey. The Bible declares in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Your pain wasn't random. It was divine preparation for a prosperous life that's now within reach. Think about Joseph, thrown into a pit by his brothers, sold into slavery, locked in a prison for a crime he didn't commit. Door after door slammed in his face, yet Genesis 50:20 reveals the truth. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. Those closed doors weren't denials, they were redirections to a destiny that saved nations. Or consider Sarah, who laughed at God's promise of a child in her old age. At 90, her womb was barren, her hope buried under decades of disappointment. Yet Genesis 21:1 says, "The Lord was gracious to Sarah as He had said, and the Lord did for Sarah what He had promised." Her laughter of doubt became a testimony of divine provision. Chosen one, your story is no different. The delays you've endured, the battles you've fought, they've been shaping you for a breakthrough so powerful it will echo through generations. Let me share a story that feels so real you can almost touch it. Meet Anna, a single mother from Charlotte, North Carolina, who spent years praying for a way out of debt. She worked 2 jobs, barely making ends meet, her dreams of starting a small bakery buried under bills and exhaustion. One night, scrolling through YouTube, she felt a stirring in her spirit to watch a message like this one. The voice said, "Your struggle is your qualification." Anna wept, realizing her years of perseverance weren't punishment, they were preparation. She took a small step, selling homemade cookies to neighbors. Within months, a local cafe noticed her talent, and today Anna's bakery employs 5 people. Her debt is gone, and she's mentoring other women toward financial freedom. Her story isn't verified, but it's relatable because it mirrors the divine provision waiting for you when you act in faith. Here's where this gets urgent. God's warning is clear. If you skip this moment, you risk missing the door to your spiritual awakening. This isn't about temporary blessings. It's about stepping into the identity God has always seen in you. Picture a scroll unfurling in heaven, your destiny written in light, sealed with the blood of the Lamb. Revelation 2:17 promises, "To the one who overcomes, I will give a new name written on a white stone, known only to the one who receives it." That name isn't forgotten or forgotten. It's chosen, beloved, victor. But to claim it, you must act before the window closes. The enemy wants you to believe you have forever, but divine timing is precise. Noah had one chance to build the ark. Esther had one moment to approach the king. You have this moment to step into your divine purpose. If this message is stirring your soul, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us spread this message of divine provision to more chosen ones. Your seed doesn't just support a channel, it awakens souls standing at their own doors, trembling with possibility. But whether you give or simply receive, know this: your presence here is no accident. Heaven is watching, angels are leaning in, and the spiritual realm is electric with anticipation. Comment, "I am answering God's warning," in the comments below to declare your readiness to step into your destiny. Your words aren't just text. They're a spiritual contract, sealing your commitment to a prosperous life. Now let's address the fear that's trying to chain you to the sidelines. Fear is a liar, whispering that you're too old, too broken, too unqualified. But 2 Timothy 1:7 thunders, "God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." Fear isn't your protector. It's your prison. Think about Moses, who stammered at the burning bush saying, "Who am I to go to Pharaoh?" Fear made him forget he was raised in Pharaoh's palace, equipped for the task. Or consider David, a shepherd boy facing Goliath. His knees may have shook, but his faith slung the stone. Chosen one, your fear isn't a stop sign. It's a signal that you're standing at the edge of your breakthrough. Here are 3 specific steps to unlock your divine purpose today. First, write down one goal for this week that aligns with your dreams. Maybe it's starting a business, writing a book, or rebuilding a relationship. Be specific, like, "I will draft the first chapter by Friday." Second, reach out to someone you need to forgive or reconnect with. Send a text or make a call today saying, "I've been thinking of you. Can we talk?" Third, take one tangible step toward a project you've delayed. Register a domain name, apply for a job, or research a course. These steps aren't random. They're bridges to your prosperous life. Don't add more steps. These 3 are your foundation. Act on them and watch God move. Let's talk about prosperity, because God's plan for you isn't just spiritual, it's practical. Psalm 35:27 says, "The Lord takes pleasure in the prosperity of his servant." Prosperity isn't greed, it's divine provision to fulfill your calling. Imagine a river of abundance flowing through your life, not just for you, but to bless others. That business idea burning in your heart? It's not just about profit, it's about creating jobs, serving communities, building a legacy. That dream of financial freedom. It's God's way of freeing you to serve without fear. But prosperity requires action. Like the servants in the parable of the talents, you must invest what God has given you. Don't bury your gifts in fear. Step out and watch God multiply your efforts. Chosen one, you're not just a bystander in God's plan. You're a co-creator of your destiny. Ephesians 2:10 declares, "We are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Your life isn't a rehearsal, it's the main event. Every rejection, every delay, every moment you felt invisible was God chiseling away the ordinary to reveal the extraordinary within you. Picture yourself standing before a mirror, not the distorted one the world handed you, but heaven's mirror, reflecting a warrior, a trailblazer, a bearer of overflowing blessings. That's who you are. But will you believe it enough to act? As we move deeper into this message, consider the cost of hesitation. The Israelites could have reached the promised land in 11 days, but fear and doubt turned it into 40 years. Don't let that be your story. The door before you isn't locked. It's waiting for your hand to turn the knob. Imagine the lives waiting on the other side, the family member who needs your forgiveness, the community that needs your leadership, the world that needs your light. Your breakthrough isn't just for you, it's a domino that triggers transformation for others. But what if the fear you're facing is the very doorway to your divine provision? Chosen one, what if the fear gripping your heart isn't a barrier but a beacon, guiding you to the very breakthrough you've been praying for? That trembling in your spirit, that whisper of doubt telling you to stay safe, it's not a warning to retreat, but a signal that you're standing at the threshold of your divine purpose. Picture this. A vast battlefield stretches before you, not one of defeat, but of victory, where every step you take in faith shatters the chains of fear and unlocks a prosperous life of abundance. The door before you, radiant with your name etched in celestial light, isn't just an opportunity. It's a divine appointment, a moment where heaven and earth align to propel you into personal transformation. God's warning echoes. If you skip this, you risk forfeiting the destiny He's crafted for you. But step forward, and you'll ignite a spiritual awakening that ripples through generations. Are you ready to turn fear into fuel for your faith journey? Let's dive deeper into this truth. Fear is the enemy's oldest trick, a fog that clouds your vision of God's plan. But Psalm 23:4 proclaims, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Notice it doesn't say you'll avoid the valley, it says you'll walk through it fearless, because God's presence is your shield. Think about Esther standing before King Ahasuerus, her heart pounding, knowing one wrong move could cost her life. Yet she stepped forward, driven by a purpose greater than her fear, and saved a nation. Or consider Peter stepping out of the boat onto raging waves. His fear didn't vanish, but his faith moved his feet. Chosen one, your fear isn't a disqualifier. It's proof you're human, and God specializes in using trembling hearts to change the world. Now, let's make this practical. You've already been given 3 actionable steps to unlock your divine purpose. Write one specific goal for this week. Reach out to someone you need to forgive or reconnect with, and take one tangible step toward a delayed project. These aren't suggestions, they're spiritual keys, designed to align your actions with God's promises. Don't overcomplicate it. If your goal is to start a business, write, "I will research local permits by Thursday." If it's reconciliation, send that text today, "I miss you, can we meet?" If it's a project, take one step, like downloading a course outline. These steps are your declaration to heaven that you're ready for divine provision. Don't add more steps. These 3 are your foundation for a prosperous life. Act on them and watch fear crumble as God opens doors no one can shut. Let me share another story to ground this in reality. Meet James, a teacher from Boise, Idaho, who felt stuck in a cycle of burnout and debt. For years, he dreamed of launching an online tutoring platform to help struggling students, but fear of failure kept him paralyzed. One Sunday, a sermon on stepping out in faith hit him like a lightning bolt. He remembered Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. James took a small step. He created a free website and offered tutoring to 5 students. Within a year, his platform grew to serve hundreds, clearing his debt and funding scholarships for low-income kids. James's story, though unverified, resonates because it shows how one act of courage can unleash overflowing blessing. Your story could be next. Here's where this message gets urgent again. The door before you isn't just about personal gain, it's about legacy. Your breakthrough isn't only for you. It's for the lives you'll touch, the chains you'll break, the hope you'll ignite. Imagine a tapestry woven with golden threads, each representing a life transformed because you dared to step through this door. That business you're hesitant to start, it could employ someone who's praying for a job. That book you're afraid to write, it could inspire a soul on the brink of giving up. That forgiveness you're withholding, it could heal a family for generations. Isaiah 61:4 promises, they will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated. That's you, chosen one, rebuilding what was broken, restoring what was lost, all because you refused to let fear win. Comment "I am conquering fear" in the comments below to proclaim your victory over the lies holding you back. Your declaration isn't just words. It's a spiritual weapon, cutting through the fog of doubt and aligning you with God's plan. Thousands of chosen souls are joining you, building a community of faith that stands together in this divine moment. And if this message is igniting a fire in your spirit, consider liking and subscribing to stay connected to your faith journey. Join a movement of believers walking boldly into their prosperous lives, anchored in divine purpose. Now let's talk about abundance, because God's vision for you isn't scarcity, it's overflow. John 10:10 declares, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. Fullness isn't just spiritual peace, it's practical provision, enabling you to fulfill your calling without fear of lack. Imagine your life as a wellspring bubbling with divine provision, not just meeting your needs but spilling over to bless others. That financial freedom you're seeking, it's not about luxury, it's about freedom to serve, to give, to build. But abundance requires stewardship. Like the widow in 2 Kings 4, who poured her last jar of oil and saw it multiply, you must use what you have. Take those 3 steps. Write your goal, reach out, act on your project, and trust God to multiply your faith into wealth creation. Chosen one, you're not here to survive, you're here to thrive. The enemy wants you to believe your struggles define you, but Romans 8:37 shouts, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. Your pain, your fear, your delays, they're not your identity. They're your training ground. Picture yourself as a diamond, formed under pressure, now sparkling with divine light. Every trial has been polishing you for this moment, where you step into a destiny so radiant it blinds the forces of darkness. But the clock is ticking. This door, this divine opportunity, won't wait forever. The Israelites hesitated at Canaan's edge, and a generation perished in the wilderness. Don't let fear rob you of your promised land. As we press forward, consider the weight of this moment. You're not just making a choice for today. You're shaping eternity. The lives you'll touch, the legacies you'll build, the miracles you'll witness, all hinge on your next move. Imagine standing before God, the author of your destiny, and hearing him ask, what did you do with the door I opened? Will you say, I was afraid? Or will you declare, I stepped through in faith? The door is opened, the path is lit, but the step is yours. What if the greatest breakthrough of your life is just one act of courage away? Chosen one, what if the greatest breakthrough of your life is not a distant dream, but a reality waiting just one bold step away? That door before you, shimmering with the promise of divine purpose, isn't locked. It's beckoning, urging you to cross the threshold into a prosperous life of abundance and personal transformation. God's warning burns with urgency. If you skip this moment, you risk missing the spiritual awakening He's orchestrated for you. Picture a river of divine provision, its waters sparkling with possibilities, ready to carry you into a destiny that outshines every struggle you've faced. The fear that's holding you back, it's not a wall, it's a veil, thin and fragile, waiting for you to tear it down with faith. The Bible thunders in Hebrews 11:1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your faith, not your fear, is the key to unlocking this door. But will you turn it? Or will you let this divine moment slip into the shadows of what if? Let's lean into this truth. Your fear is not a sign of weakness. It's a signal you're on the cusp of something monumental. Think about Gideon, hiding in a winepress, threshing wheat in fear of the Midianites. When the angel called him a mighty warrior, he protested, "My clan is the weakest, and I am the least." Judges 6:15. Yet God saw what Gideon couldn't, a leader who would deliver Israel. Chosen one, God sees the warrior in you, even when you feel like the least. Your doubts, your insecurities, your past mistakes, they don't disqualify you, they qualify you for a testimony that will shake nations. Every time you've felt small, God was whispering, "You're not shrinking, you're being shaped for a divine purpose." Let's revisit those 3 actionable steps, because they're your roadmap to crossing this threshold. First, write down one specific goal for this week, like, "I will outline my business plan by Wednesday." Second, reach out to someone you need to forgive or reconnect with. Send that message today, perhaps. "I've been praying for you, can we talk?" Third, take one concrete step toward a project you've delayed, such as signing up for a course or sketching a prototype. These steps aren't busy work. They're spiritual contracts, aligning your actions with God's promise of divine provision. Don't seek more steps. These 3 are your foundation. Act on them, and you'll see fear dissolve as doors of opportunity swing wide, leading to a prosperous life. Now let me share a story that feels like it could be yours. Meet Clara, a nurse from Atlanta, Georgia, who spent a decade caring for others while her own dreams of opening a community health clinic faded. Fear of failure kept her stuck, whispering, "You don't have the funds or the know-how." One evening, a patient's gratitude sparked a memory of Psalm 37:4. "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Clara took a small step. She wrote a proposal for a free clinic. A local church noticed, offering seed funding, and within 2 years, Clara's clinic served hundreds, transforming lives and her own. Though unverified, Clara's story mirrors the breakthrough waiting when you act in faith. Your clinic, your book, your ministry, it's waiting for your first move. Comment "I am stepping through" in the comments below to declare your commitment to this divine moment. Your words are a battle cry, uniting you with thousands of chosen ones walking their faith journeys. This community isn't just viewers. It's a spiritual army, standing together to claim God's promises. If this message is fanning the flames of your spiritual awakening, consider liking and subscribing to join a movement of believers pursuing their divine purpose. Your subscription isn't just a click. It's a step towards staying anchored in a prosperous life. Let's talk about legacy, because your destiny isn't just about you. It's about the generations you'll impact. Isaiah 50:8-12 calls you the repairer of the breach, the restorer of streets to dwell in. Your breakthrough is a bridge, carrying others from bondage to freedom. Imagine your children walking in peace because you forgave today. Picture your community thriving because you started that business. Envision a world touched by your testimony because you dared to write that book. Your fear wants you to focus on what you might lose, but faith shows you what others will gain. Every step you take through this door plants seeds of overflowing blessings, growing a harvest you may never fully see, but will echo through eternity. Prosperity is at the heart of God's plan for you, not as a selfish pursuit, but as a tool for kingdom impact. Deuteronomy 8:18 reminds us, "It is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth." Wealth creation isn't about hoarding, it's about stewarding resources to fulfill your calling. That financial freedom you're praying for, it's God's way of freeing you to serve without worry, to give generously, to build legacy. But prosperity demands action. Like the servants in Matthew 25's parable of the talents, you must invest your gifts. Time, skills, faith, those 3 steps, writing your goal, reaching out, acting on your project, are your investment. Trust God to multiply them into abundance that overflows. Chosen one, you're not here by accident. The restlessness in your spirit, the hunger for more, it's not discontent. It's divine DNA, recognizing its celestial assignment. Ephesians 2:10 declares, "We are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus, to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Before the stars were hung, God penned your name on this moment. Picture a scroll in heaven unrolling with your destiny written in golden ink, sealed with divine authority. That scroll isn't a suggestion, it's a summons. But the enemy wants you to believe it's optional, that you can wait for a better time. Don't fall for the lie. Divine timing is now, and hesitation could cost you everything. As we journey deeper, consider the stakes. This door isn't just about your comfort, it's about your calling, the lives waiting on your obedience, the miracles tied to your faith, the legacies hinging on your courage. They're all on the line. Imagine standing before this radiant door, feeling the warmth of God's presence, hearing the faint hum of angelic voices cheering you on. The knob is in your hand, but your heart races with questions. What if I fail? What if I'm not ready? Let me answer with Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Your readiness isn't in your strength, it's in His. But what if the next step you take is the one that changes everything? Chosen one, what if the next step you take is the one that shifts the entire trajectory of your life? That door before you, pulsing with the promise of divine purpose, isn't just an invitation. It's a divine mandate, etched in heaven's registry with your name. God's warning is unmistakable. If you skip this moment, you risk missing the spiritual awakening that could usher you into a prosperous life of abundance and personal transformation. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a cliff, not to fall but to soar, with wings of faith lifting you into a destiny that outshines every fear you've faced. The fear whispering, "You're not enough," it's a lie, crumbling under the truth of Psalm 139:14. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your next move isn't just a step, it's a leap into God's plan where divine provision awaits. But will you take it, or will you let doubt anchor you to the sidelines? Let's confront that doubt head on, because it's the enemy's last defense against your breakthrough. Doubt isn't wisdom, it's a thief, stealing the courage you need to claim your faith journey. Think about Thomas, who refused to believe Jesus had risen until he saw the scars. Yet John 20:29 records Jesus saying, Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. Chosen one, your blessing doesn't require perfect clarity, it requires trust. Your doubts, your questions, your what-ifs, they're not roadblocks. They're signposts, pointing you to a faith that moves mountains. Every time you've wondered if God's promises apply to you, He's been whispering, they're written for you. Your doubt isn't a dead end. It's a doorway to a deeper trust in God's unshakable plan. Those 3 steps we've anchored in are your lifeline to crossing this threshold. First, write one specific goal for this week, like, I will complete a budget plan by Tuesday. Second, reach out to someone you need to forgive or reconnect with. Send that email today, perhaps. I've been thinking about us. Can we meet? Third, take one tangible step toward a project you've delayed, such as reserving a venue for your event or drafting a proposal. These aren't mere tasks. They are acts of obedience, aligning you with divine provision. Don't search for more steps. These 3 are your bridge to a prosperous life. Act on them, and you'll feel doubt dissolve as God's favor flows, opening doors to wealth creation and legacy building. Let me paint another story that feels like it could be yours. Meet Daniel, a mechanic from Tulsa, Oklahoma, who spent years haunted by a dream to mentor at-risk youth through a car repair program. Fear of rejection kept him silent, whispering, "Who would fund a nobody like me?" One night, a Bible verse sparked a fire. Matthew 5:16. "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Daniel took a small step. He pitched his idea to a local pastor. That pastor connected him with a donor, and within 18 months, Daniel's program trained 20 teens, giving them skills and hope. Though unverified, Daniel's story echoes the breakthrough waiting. When you trust God's timing, your mentorship, your art, your voice, it's ready to shine. Comment, "I am trusting God's plan" in the comments below to seal your commitment to this divine moment. Your declaration is a spiritual marker, uniting you with a community of chosen ones claiming their divine purpose. Thousands are standing with you, their faith fueling yours, as you walk toward a prosperous life. If this message is igniting your spiritual awakening, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us spread this message of divine provision to more souls trembling at their own doors. Your seed isn't just a gift, it's a spark, kindling hope in hearts across the globe. Now let's talk about courage, because that's the currency of your destiny. Joshua 1:9 commands, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in its presence. Imagine a warrior, armor dented, sword trembling, yet charging into battle because the cause is greater than the fear. That's you, chosen one, charging toward a destiny that will break generational curses and plant seeds of overflowing blessings. Your courage isn't rooted in your strength, it's anchored in God's promise. Every step you take through this door declares to heaven and hell that you're claiming your place in God's plan. Abundance is woven into that plan, not as a luxury, but as a lifeline. Proverbs 3:9-10 promises, "Honor the Lord with your wealth, then your barns will be filled to overflowing." A prosperous life isn't about excess, it's about impact, equipping you to serve, give, and build. That financial freedom you're praying for, it's God's strategy to free you from worry so you can focus on your calling. But abundance flows through action. Those 3 steps, writing your goal, reaching out, acting on your project, are your seeds. Plant them and trust God to grow them into a harvest of wealth creation, not just for you, but for the lives you'll touch. Imagine funding a school, supporting a missionary, or simply living without the weight of lack. That's the prosperous life God envisions. Chosen one, you're not a bystander in this divine drama. You're the protagonist. The enemy wants you to believe you're insignificant, but Romans 8:28 proclaims, "In all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Every trial, every tear, every moment of doubt has been woven into a tapestry of triumph. Picture yourself before a heavenly mirror, not reflecting your scars but your glory, a warrior, a restorer, a bearer of divine light. This door isn't just an exit from your past, it's an entrance to your legacy. But the clock is ticking, and divine timing waits for no one. The Israelites lingered in fear, and a generation missed Canaan. Don't let doubt steal your promised land. As we press deeper, feel the weight of this moment. This isn't just about your future, it's about eternity. The lives waiting on your obedience, the miracles tied to your faith, the legacies hinging on your next move, they're all at stake. Imagine a choir of angels, their voices rising, cheering you toward this radiant door. The knob is warm under your hand. Your heart may race, your mind may question, but your spirit knows this is your divine appointment. What if the courage you summon today is the spark that ignites a revival? Chosen one, what if the courage you summon today is the spark that ignites a revival, not just in your life, but in the lives of countless others? That door before you, glowing with the promise of divine purpose, isn't just a passageway. It's a portal to a spiritual awakening that could reshape your faith journey and unleash a prosperous life of abundance. God's warning pierces the air. If you skip this moment, you risk missing the personal transformation He's prepared for you. Picture a flame flickering in your chest, not of fear, but of divine fire, ready to burn away doubt and illuminate your path to divine provision. The enemy's lies, telling you you're too late, too broken, too small, are crumbling under the truth of Isaiah 41:10. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. Your courage isn't just a choice, it's a weapon poised to shatter every barrier to your... But will you wield it? Or will you let this divine moment fade into regret? Let's dive into the heart of this truth. Courage is the bridge between your current reality and God's promises. Think about David, a shepherd boy facing Goliath, his sling trembling in his hand. The giant's taunts echoed, yet 1 Samuel 17:45 records David's bold cry, "I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." His courage wasn't rooted in his size, but in his God. Chosen one, your fears, failure, rejection, inadequacy are your Goliath, but your courage is the stone that will fell them. Every time you've felt unworthy, God has been whispering, "You're not weak. You're chosen for a divine purpose." Your courage doesn't erase fear, it defies it, declaring that God's plan is greater than your doubts. Those 3 steps remain your anchor to this breakthrough. First, write one specific goal for this week, like, I will pitch my idea to a mentor by Friday. Second, reach out to someone you need to forgive or reconnect with. Send that text today, perhaps, I want to make things right. Can we talk? Third, take one tangible step toward a delayed project, such as ordering supplies or scheduling a meeting. These steps aren't optional. They're your spiritual blueprint, aligning you with divine provision. Don't add more. These 3 are your pathway to a prosperous life. Act on them and watch courage rise as God opens doors to wealth creation and legacy building, proving His faithfulness. Let me share a story that feels alive with possibility. Meet Rachel, a graphic designer from Seattle, Washington, who dreamed of creating art that inspired faith, but feared her work wouldn't matter. Trapped in a dead-end job, she felt her talents wasting away. One morning, a verse stirred her heart. Matthew 5:14. "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." Rachel took a small step. She posted one faith-based design online. A local church saw it, commissioning her for a project, and within a year, her art adorned worship spaces across the city, sparking hope in thousands. Though unverified, Rachel's story mirrors the breakthrough waiting when you act in courage. Your art, your voice, your vision, it's ready to light the world. Comment, "I am walking in courage," in the comments below to proclaim your defiance of fear and your commitment to God's plan. Your words are a spiritual banner, uniting you with a global community of chosen ones pursuing their divine purpose. This isn't just a comment section, it's a sanctuary of faith, where thousands stand with you, cheering your prosperous life. If this message is fueling your spiritual awakening, consider liking and subscribing to join a movement of believers stepping boldly into their destinies. Your subscription is a declaration that you're all in for God's promises. Now, let's talk about impact, because your destiny isn't solitary, it's communal. Your breakthrough is a key, unlocking freedom for others. Imagine a pebble dropped in a still lake, its ripples spreading far beyond the point of impact. That's your obedience, rippling through families, communities, and generations. Ezekiel 36:26 promises, "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you." Your new heart isn't just for you. It's for the prodigal child who needs your prayer, the co-worker who needs your kindness, the world that needs your light. Your courage to step through this door plants seeds of overflowing blessings, growing a harvest of hope you may never fully see, but will echo through eternity. Prosperity is God's tool for that impact, not a reward, but a responsibility. Psalm 112:3 declares, "Wealth and riches are in their houses, and their righteousness endures forever." A prosperous life equips you to serve without fear, to give without hesitation, to build without limits. That financial freedom you're seeking, it's God's strategy to free you for kingdom work, funding ministries, supporting families, but prosperity flows through faithful action. Those 3 steps, writing your goal, reaching out, acting on your project, are your investment. Trust God to multiply them into abundance, like the loaves and fish that fed thousands. Imagine a life where lack no longer dictates your choices. Chosen one, you're not here to spectate. You're here to shape history. The enemy wants you to believe your story is ordinary, but 1 Peter 2:9 proclaims, "You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession." Your life is a divine script penned before time, with you as the hero. Picture a throne room in heaven, angels leaning forward, watching as you stand before this radiant door. The air hums with anticipation, the scroll of your destiny unfurling, its golden letters gleaming with purpose. The enemy's lies, too late, too broken, too small, are powerless against God's truth. But divine timing is urgent, and hesitation could cost you your crown. As we journey deeper, feel the pulse of this moment. This isn't just about your dreams. It's about God's glory. The lives waiting on your courage, the miracles tied to your obedience, the legacies hinging on your faith. They're all in the balance. Imagine crossing this threshold, feeling the weight of fear fall away, replaced by the warmth of God's presence. Your hand is on the knob, your heart steady with purpose. The door creaks open, revealing a horizon of possibility. What if the faith you ignite today is the fire that transforms the world? Chosen one, What if the faith you ignite today is the fire that transforms not just your world, but the world around you? That radiant door before you, etched with your name in divine light, isn't just a threshold, it's a launch pad, propelling you into a spiritual awakening that will define your faith journey and unleash a prosperous life of abundance. God's warning echoes with unrelenting urgency. If you skip this moment, you risk missing the personal transformation He's destined for you. Picture a vast horizon stretching beyond the door, alive with possibilities, dreams fulfilled, relationships restored, legacies built, all shimmering with divine provision. The fear that's clawing at your heart, it's not your master, it's your servant, bowing before the truth of Romans 8:31. If God is for us, who can be against us? Your faith, kindled by courage, is the torch that will light this path. But this is your final call. Will you step through, or will you let this divine moment slip into eternity's archives? Let's anchor in the truth that your faith is not passive. It's active, a force that moves mountains and parts seas. Think about Moses, standing before the Red Sea, Pharaoh's army closing in. Exodus 14:15 records God's command. Why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on. Faith didn't wait for the waters to part. It stepped forward, staff raised, trusting God's promise. Chosen one, your faith doesn't need perfect conditions. It needs movement. Those doubts whispering, "You're not ready." They're lies, silenced by Hebrews 11:6. Without faith it is impossible to please God. Every step you've taken, every tear you've shed, every prayer you've whispered has been building a reservoir of faith, ready to overflow into a prosperous life. Your faith isn't just belief, it's the substance of your divine purpose. Those 3 steps remain your compass to this breakthrough. First, write one specific goal for this week, like, I will enroll in a course by Thursday. Second, reach out to someone you need to forgive or reconnect with. Send that message today. Perhaps, I've been praying for you. Let's meet. Third, take one tangible step toward a delayed project, such as drafting a business pitch or booking a venue. These steps aren't suggestions. They're sacred acts, aligning you with divine provision. Don't seek more. These 3 are your foundation for wealth creation and legacy building. Act on them and watch faith transform fear into fuel, opening doors to a life of overflowing blessings. Let me share one final story to ground this in hope. Meet Leah, a librarian from Columbus, Ohio, who longed to write a children's book about faith but feared her voice wouldn't matter. Years of rejection letters piled up, and doubt nearly buried her dream. One evening, a verse pierced her heart, Philippians 1:6. He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. Leah took a small step. She self-published one story. A local school invited her to read it, and within months, her book reached thousands, inspiring kids to pray. Though unverified, Leah's story reflects the breakthrough waiting when you trust God's timing. Your book, your song, your mission, it's poised to change lives. Comment, I am claiming my destiny, in the comments below, to seal your commitment to this divine moment. Your words are a spiritual declaration, uniting you with a global family of chosen ones, walking their faith journeys. This community is a fortress of hope, standing together to claim prosperous lives. If this message has fanned the flames of your spiritual awakening, consider supporting through Super Thanks to help us spread this message of divine provision to souls trembling at their own doors. Your seed is a spark, igniting hope across the earth. Now let's talk about eternity, because your destiny isn't bound by time. It's woven into God's eternal plan. Revelation 3:8 declares, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. This door doesn't lead to fleeting success. It opens to a legacy that outlives you. Imagine your children walking in freedom because you broke a curse today. Picture your community thriving because you launched that ministry. Envision a world touched by your courage, your faith, your obedience. Your breakthrough is a domino, triggering transformation for generations. But this door has a divine timer, and it's ticking down. Esther's moment couldn't wait. Neither can yours. The lives waiting on your yes are counting on you. Prosperity is God's promise for that legacy, not a luxury but a kingdom tool. Luke 6:38 promises, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." A prosperous life equips you to build schools, fund missions, lift others from lack. That financial freedom you're praying for, it's God's strategy to free you for impact. Those 3 steps, writing your goal, reaching out, acting on your project, are your seed. Plant them and trust God to grow them into abundance, like the mustard seed that became a tree. Imagine a life where you give without fear, serve without limits, dream without boundaries. That's the divine provision God offers. Chosen one, you're not here by chance. The restlessness in your spirit, the hunger for more, it's divine DNA recognizing its celestial calling. 1 Corinthians 2:9 proclaims, "No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him." Your destiny is beyond imagination, but it's not beyond reach. Picture a heavenly scroll unfurling, your name glowing in golden ink, your purpose sealed with divine authority. The enemy's lies, too late, too broken, too small, are powerless against God's truth. You're not a footnote in history. You're a headline in heaven's story. But this moment is fleeting, and divine timing demands your response. As we stand at this sacred threshold, feel the weight of eternity. This door isn't just about your dreams, it's about God's glory. The lives waiting on your courage, the miracles tied to your faith, the legacies hinging on your obedience. They're all in the balance. Imagine crossing this threshold, the air shifting, fear falling away like a discarded cloak. Angels cheer, heaven rejoices, and your heart beats with purpose. The knob is in your hand, warm with God's presence. The door creaks open, revealing a future radiant with possibility. This is your Red Sea moment, your Jericho march, your Esther plea. Will you step through? Let's pray together, sealing this divine appointment. Place your hand on